Hello, guys. Hope you guys are doing having an amazing day. Today, I want to talk with you about something that is very close to heart, and I really believe that this is gonna enhance your trading, and it's gonna definitely make you a better trader. I can guarantee you. And this thing could be likened to the cancer of trading, and it is what we call overtrading. Overtrading, that's right, overtrading. That is the cancer of trading. It doesn't matter what strategy you have, it doesn't matter how good of a trader you are. If you don't fix this problem, for each win you have, you're gonna have a loss or streaks of losing that is gonna be way, way more than what you've made. All right. So, how to resist the urge to overtrade? How to resist the urge to overtrade? Overtrading is a tax you pay for boredom. All right? Today, we will break the cycle of overtrading with precision, discipline, and control. You don't want to pay no tax for being bored, right? You might as well get tax for something you work for. You don't want to be taxed for being bored. And that is what overtrading is. Pretty much is like you paid just for being bored. Because people overtrade when they get bored. But we're gonna fix it, all right? So the core idea is more like whenever you click just because you are being bored, it's almost like you're donating your money to the market. You are literally giving them your money. If you get bored and you click and you trade because of boredom, that is never going to be a win for you. However, it's going to be a win to the market maker. So they don't care, okay? They don't care if you overtrade. They love you to overtrade. But you know your boy Arnold is here. I don't want you to overtrade. I don't want you to give your money to the market makers. Come on, boys. We're in here to make money. So I'm going to show you how we can stop donating our money to the market. All right. You don't beat cravings by standing in front of the counter. You don't, if for example, if you're struggling with weight loss and you're trying to stop eating donuts, you don't beat that by going to the donut shop and be like, hey, you know what? I'm here, but I'm not going to eat because I'm just so cool and I'm just so smart. I have a strong will. I'm not going to eat any donut today. Guess what? You will eat that donut. So the way you beat a craving is by having a set of rules. If you don't want to eat donuts, you got to have some rules to be where, you know what? There is a donut shop on this street, and since I'm trying not to eat donut, I'm going to take the other route. I'm not just going to go around that donut so as not to be tempted to eat donut. That is how you overcome it, by setting rules. Okay? That is how we overcome overtrading. Rules, rules, rules greater than our will. So the next way we overcome it is through control, right? With that control, the market keep rolling you into trade you don't need. So you gotta have a certain level of control. All right? You have to have control. There is no way to overcome overtrading without having control. So we're gonna learn how you can have control to be a master of yourself as opposed to having the market becoming a master of you just because you're very impulsive. Here's what I can promise for you today. Today, we will build a system to make sure you click few clicks in the market, you enter cleaner trade, and you exercise more control. Does that sound like a good thing? That could really help you to build a system so you don't Overtrade, you don't trade by impulsiveness. So you can enter cleaner trade A plus setup, not just random triggers in the market. And so you can exercise more control. That sounds like a deal, right? Let's get right to it. So why it matters? It matters because a lot of people blow accounts, right? And that is not the whole point. We are not in here to blow account. We're in here to become consistent and to grow our account over time. But if with the issue of overtrade not being addressed, one lost trade will lead to subsequent losses and eventually blowing our account. Because the first loss is almost like the trigger that increases our losing streak if that first loss is not being managed properly, right? And that is why you have to understand, once you hit that first loss, the chances of you overtrading is a lot higher, just because your stress hormone, which is your cortisol, increases after each losses. All right? But we're going to look on how we can address that by having certain rules. When a loss happens, this is going to be our reaction. So we avoid blowing accounts and losing everything after a loss. You also have to notice that you have to know this, right? To clean A plus trade at 2R beat 10 random pokes at 0.2R. Clean A plus trade. So it's not a numbers game, it's more a quality game. Quality supersedes numbers when it comes to trading every time. So by you overtrading, you are not necessarily putting the odds in your favor. On the contrary, you're shooting yourself in the foot. Rather, wait for precise trade, A plus trade, and go for that killer, right? Go for that snapper entry targeting 2R. That beats 10 random pokes of 0.2R. All right? I know some scalpers might come after me, but that's the truth. A plus setup is always going to beat you going for random pokes. Every forced trade drains your mental capital. Your mental capital is equally important when you're trading. And personally, I noticed it. There was a time I had everything working for me. My strategy was good, everything. But I realized that because the days I was hurrying to get into the market, or the days I got in a trade while I was on my phone, while I was driving, my mental capital was not at its best. So I was losing money. And I realized that not only do I have to manage my mental capital, I have to track my mindset before getting into each trade. And I set a hard rule where unless I am 1 hour before my trading time at home, I will not trade. So I have to be 1 hour before trading. And in that 1 hour, I have to do some mindfulness practice and some visualization to kind of protect my mental capital. Because when you're prepared your mind to get into the market, a loss is not going to drain your mental capital as much. But you have to understand, overtrading has a way to drain your mental capital, and you got to plan for that. Yeah, some truth. You don't trade because of urges. People who trade for urges is because they're seeking dopamine from the market. You are not in the market for dopamine. We trade for data. We trade because the market gives us an opportunity to trade. Okay? And when we have a loss, guess what? We slow it. We stop. We recess. We reframe our losses, right? You reframe your losses. Look at your losses in terms of the lessons you're getting from it. Look at how you can improve from that losses, right? Take that stop, slow it down. Don't chase, don't keep chasing, don't keep trading after a loss. No, slow it down, reset, stop, reframe your loss. Understand that is part of the game. Accept your loss. It's unavoidable. As a matter of fact, before even trading, meditate, sing yourself, slowing down after a loss, accepting your loss as part of the game. That is how you beat overtrading, okay? You got to have some rules, guys. You have to understand when we overtrade or when we get in a position of losses, right? That is a trigger that leads to a sequence of overtrading because we are trying to recover. And also, when we experience a loss, there is an emotional spike in us. Our stress hormone becomes heightened. When our stress hormones are heightened, our sense of judgment become less and we become more impulsive. That is why to overcome that, you have to have a set rule. 20-minute cool down after a loss. 20-minute cool down after a loss. 20 minutes might be a lot for some of y'all, but guess what, boy? If you want to make money, you got to have that. Or you can even take 5 minutes. Have some kind of a stop and a reset. Maybe in those moments, maybe you take a walk, maybe you jump, you do something, but have that reset to calm down, to calm your emotions down. That is going to help you a great deal. The third rule is you have to understand that your rules are greater than your willpower. Don't just come to the market with having no plan in terms of what is going to happen. When you come to the market, you have to have if scenarios for everything. If this happened, then this. If that happened, then that. So you have to have that. You have to plan for it. If I hit a loss, guess what I do? I slow it. I take a 20-minute break because I understand my rules are greater than my willpower. I understand once I have encountered that loss, I am more emotional than I am logical. No matter what my willpower can do, but at that time, my emotions are triggered. My cortisol level is higher. I have less control and my willpower will not serve me. That is why a rule to understand rules are greater than willpower will help you a great deal. All right. Hard rules, daily max loss, 2 hour, daily win rate plus 2 hour. You have to have all these things. These are the things that helps you to overtrade. It helps you to be impulsive when you're in the market. When you overtrade, it just drains you, right? It just emotionally drained and you don't want to do it. It makes your job more difficult. Trading is more difficult than what it is because you feel burnout. I don't want you to be burnout. I want you to have fun while you trade. It's possible. But overtrading is a nightmare. But we've seen how to deal with overtrading. When you find yourself in that mode, slow it down, reset after a small loss, wait for A+ setup, have a clear rules before you enter the market, have mindfulness practice, have a set target, set loss limit, and set profit target. That is going to be the difference maker. The greatest difference isn't going to be in the market. It's going to be these rules. If you follow these rules, I guarantee you, you will become a better trader. And overtrading is going to be a thing of the past, right? To bring everything to a close, you got to understand you need to have set rules. Max 3 trades per session. 20-minute cool down after a loss. That is a must. You got to have it. It's a must. You got to have hard rails, 2-hour stops, 2-hour profit stops. You got to have that 5-hour. You got to have all those rules. All right? You got to slow and reset. It's a must. You got to manage your mindset. You got to understand after a loss, your emotions spike. And you can't just continue. You got to take a step back. Seek for A+ setup. Quality always triumph quantity. Quality always triumph quantity. Hope this helped to enhance your trading. And thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. Let's grow this channel. Let's take this channel. Let's make this channel the biggest channel ever. And also, please comment if you have any question. If there are any other topics you want me to talk about, I'll be more than happy to do so. Please put it in the comment. And thank you again for watching. Bye bye for now. See you on the next video.